So this is it. Roll up, everybody gather, come and join. One man went to mow. Yes, we're back at it again. So that funky sounding or you're laughing guy that comes on your screen ever so often, he is back on your screen again. So gather, come and join, congregate, converge. Let us spend time together. Gather, come and join. One man went to mow that Oyo guy. He's at it again. One man went to mow. The eagle has landed.
Only water, water, only water where they see ma. Water, 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 water. Only water where they see ma. Hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Ilé sọ́dí akẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Bobby master kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Chifu fáìlà tí kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù dòdò jàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bá ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosona ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
And there we are. Iku Koniru Agbeshe as ever the mighty Kegites. Iku Koniru Agbeshe, as guys I bring you this. White paper, Lagos government reject massacre claim at Lekki Gate. So that is short and to the point. We all knew that was coming and that has come. Response to Sanwo Olu's invitation to walk the walk of peace with him, we reach out to known names within the Nigerian space, and they respond. I don't work with murderers. Dele Farotimi replies to Sanwo Olu. So as I said yesterday, and I insist again today, he was ill-advised to have sent that invitation because he only gives these people the opportunity to make this sort of riposte as they to preen and peacock at his expense. And preen and peacock they are doing. We are still investigating Sowore's phones for link with terrorism. Secret police, DSS tells federal judge. So they're trying to link Sowore to terrorism. Quite how that will be achieved is only something that is known to the Nigerian state. Kano government reacts to court ruling awarding 10 million to depose Emir Sanusi. So GANDUJE claps back. We read that judgment yesterday and we read the response today. So all of that to come, that is the diet for the day. So kick back, lean back, take it easy, and I know that you're spending however long the session is with us. So spend the session, but let's come in first via the traditional quarters, which is the eastern quarters. Another Python dance.
I fall. O Mary, o Nindizu, o Niroya, Abakare, Mama Daora, Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi win.
Okay, so let's try again. The system failed. We tend to get this sometimes when we're uploading something onto the platform. So again, another Python dance.
Do I call? O Mary, o Nindizu, o Niroya, Abakare, Mama Daora, Ola Bori Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Ola Bori Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Na Python dance the three. Una boy Mary Nande. Nande bo onye do I walk. O Mary wone nizu Miroya. Abakare Mamanda ora. Una boy Mary Nande. Nande win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Na Python dance the three. Una boy Mary Nandi. Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Na Python dance the three. Una boy Mary Nandi. Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Na Python dance the three. Una boy Mary Nandi. Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Na Python dance the three. Una boy Mary Nandi. Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Na Python dance the three. Una boy Mary Nandi.
And there we are. So quite how they are able to insist that Nnamdi win a war as the guy soaks Gary and Ekpa in DSS facilities is beyond me. But nevertheless, Nnamdi win a war is what they insist. So Nnamdi win a war, as guys I bring you this. Lagos government reject massacre claim at Lekki Toll Gate. So that is the white paper now, the much anticipated, and of course the predictability of it. They had already trailed that this would be their response when Lai Mohammed came into the space to tell us that it is fake news. So fake news again, the Lagos state government insists. White paper, Lagos government reject massacre claim at Lekki Toll Gate. So quite how they've come to that conclusion, let's find out. The Lagos state government has rejected the findings of the judicial panel of inquiry that 9 persons were killed at the Lekki toll gate on October the 20th, 2020. According to a 41-page white paper released by the state government, the report of the panel, which said 9 deaths were recorded at Lekki toll gate on the 20th of October 2020, is baffling because the panel offered no explanation regarding the circumstances of their death. The JPI's, so that is the Judicial Panel of Inquiry, the JPI's finding of 9 deaths is therefore irreconcilable with the evidence of Professor Obafunwa that only 1 person died of gunshot wounds at 7:43 p.m. at the Lekki toll gate on, and this is crucial now, on the 21st of October 2021. So that's the day after the much vaunted date. So that's me adding that. So just to highlight that date. Having held that there was no evidence before it to the contrary of what Professor Obafunwa said, the question is, where did the JPI then get its findings of nine deaths? So that ends with a question mark. This finding of 9 deaths at the Lekki toll gate on the 20th of October 2020 is even more baffling because apart from listing out their names in tabular form at page 297 to 298, the JPI offered no explanation regarding the circumstances of their death. The names simply sprang up at page 297 to 298 of the report without any justification. On the basis of the above fundamental inconsistencies in the findings of the JPI regarding the 9 deaths at the Lekki toll gate, and particularly because the findings are clear and mainly not supported by the evidence before the JPI as attested to by the JPI itself when it said there was no contrary evidence to that of Professor Obafunwa that only one person died at Lekki toll gate of gunshot wounds at Lekki toll gate on the 20th of October 2020. So I'm not quite sure that that date has changed. The government is therefore unable to accept the finding that 9 people died of gunshot wounds at the Lekki toll gate on October the 20th, 2020. Meanwhile, 11 out of the 32 recommendations made by the panel were accepted. 6 others were accepted but with modification, and one was rejected. The document also says 14 of the recommendations fall outside of the powers of the state and will consequently be forwarded to the federal government for consideration. So below are the 32 recommendations of the panel and how the state responded. So it goes on to give us all 32, which I'm not going to read out because it's just too long-winded. I might well do that in the later session, but this a short session. So I'll save this story to revisit again at the evening session. But that essentially is the response of the Lagos State government. Get lost, essentially, is what they are saying to their own panel. Pardon me. Hashtag Endsars. I don't work with murderers. Dele Farotimi replies to Sanwo Olu. Lawyer and activist Dele Farotimi, among those Lagos State government Babajide Sanwo-Olu invited to participate in a peace walk, has declined the invitation. I do not work in the company of murderers. Hashtag Enikure Nikure, that should read. So I am a Yoruba man, so I'm not quite sure what I just did there. Hashtag Nikure, hashtag Lekki Massacre, the lawyer tweeted on Wednesday morning. Mr. Sanwo-Olu, on whose invitation the Nigerian army sent soldiers to brutally disperse young protesters at the toll gate, resulting in a massacre, stressed that his administration was determined that the next steps that will be taken in this process of coming to terms with the event of October 2020 must bring closure to a painful episode in the history of our state. In December, I will be leading a walk for peace to herald the healing of our land. Let me use this occasion to extend an open invitation to our youths, members of the diplomatic corps, civil society groups, students, and the media, as well as other stakeholders to join me. The Lagos State Governor said the Lagos State Governor as he invited Falana Fowles, Debo Adebayo, Mr. Macaroni, Dele Farotimi, Temitope Majekodunmi, Segun Awosanya, also known as Shega Links, and Adetong, also known as Just Tong, Sheun Kuti, CP Hakim, Odumosu, CSP Yinka Adegbemi to join the march. Join me on this historic march for our dear Lagos. Nobody will build this city for us, Mr. Sanwo-Olu urged the listed individuals. Let us show the world who we are. We are Lagosians, people of great renown, driven by the irresistible spirit of Lagos. So there you are. Whoever wrote that speech should be sacked. Whoever made that recommendation should be let go or redeployed. Just, I'm not sure that Sanwo-Olu should be in that seat because every single high-profile situation that he is presented with, he falters and he falls. He faltered and fell at hashtag Endsars, and now in the aftermath, he has faltered and fallen again. So falter and fall, essentially, the narrative so far of Sanwo-Olu. We are still investigating Sowore's phones for link with terrorism. Secret police DSS tells federal judge. Operatives of the Department of State Services DSS have stated that they are still investigating the mobile phones seized from pro-democracy campaigner and human rights activist Omoyele Sowore from as far back as August 2019. Sowore, the publisher of Sahara Reporters, had instituted a suit against the DSS to compel the agency to return his phones seized since August when he was arrested for the first time. The case came up on Wednesday before Justice Wuli Chikere of the Federal High Court Abuja. In the opening statement by Showore's lawyer, Mrs. Funmi Falana, she probed the DSS on the illegality of the seizure. The DSS lawyer rambled away whilst trying to explain why the lawless organization, known for human rights violations, could not provide a valid court order that led them to seize the phone and take 10,000 naira from his hotel room during his abduction in August 2019. The DSS told Justice Chikere that the phones were recovered during his arrest and not seized. The agency added that the phones are still being investigated for links to terrorism. Two lawyers from the Ministry of Justice also urged that they were raising preliminary objection to the lawsuit because Sowore was undergoing trial before another federal judge. Falana, however, faulted the positions whilst informing the judge that apart from not obtaining a court order to seize the phones, the government had also refused to return the phones and monies despite entreaties. She further stated that the charge sheets produced in court did not state that the phones were part of the evidence before the federal judge. She urged the judge to dismiss the preliminary objections and order the return of Showore's phones as well as pay 20 million naira in damages to the applicant. Justice Chikere adjourned the case for ruling on December the 8th, 2021. Correspondents had on December the 24th, 2019 reported that though the DSS released Sowore following an order by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, officials of the secret police failed to return his mobile phones, apparently in an attempt to monitor his communication and deprive him of important contacts stored on the device. Sowore was first arrested on August the 3rd, 2019, for calling on Nigerians to take to the streets in a peaceful demonstration to demand a better country from the government. He had remained in detention until the 5th of December 2019 when he was briefly released on bail. On the 6th of December, he was rearrested inside the Federal High Court Abuja by DSS operatives and was kept in custody until Tuesday, December the 24th, 2019, when Malami ordered the latest release order. So there you are, Malami, the alpha and omega of justice in Nigeria. A court orders, they disregard, but Malami order, they comply. So that is the narrative of Nigeria. The alpha and omega of Nigeria is the Aboki from Kebbi State. Uthman Danfodio University is the alpha and omega of law and order in Nigeria. So there we are, and there it is. Kano government reacts to court ruling awarding 10 million naira to deposed Emir Sanusi. The Kano state government has rejected the recent ruling by the Federal High Court declaring as unlawful and unconstitutional the banishment of the deposed Emir of Kano, Sanusi Mohamedu Sanusi. The court had ordered that the state government should pay the sum of 10 million naira as compensation to Sanusi. Meanwhile, the State Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice Musta Lawan stated that the state would further file an appeal on the judgment. Judge Wuli Chikere, so this judge seems to be very much in play at the moment, had pronounced the ruling on Tuesday in a suit filed by SANUSI and awarded 10 million naira compensation against respondents, including the police, the State Security Services SSS, the State Security Services SSS, and the Attorney General of Kano State. She also ordered them to tender a public apology to Sanusi in two national dailies. Chikere held that the Emirate Council Law 2019, relied on by the Kano state government in banishing Sanusi, was in conflict with the Nigerian constitution. According to her, the Nigerian constitution is supreme, and any law that is inconsistent with it shall be null and void. The judge also declared that the former emir had the right to live anywhere, including Kano State, as enshrined in the country's constitution. The Kano State government had on March the 9th, 2020 deposed Mr. Sanusi, after which security agents moved him to Abuja. He was later banished to Away in Nasarawa State, where he was confined to a private house until the 13th of March, when he obtained an interim order of court for his release from the house arrest. Sanusi has since been living in Lagos State as a private citizen and has been traveling to other parts of the country. Lawan told Solace, a Kano-based online, that the constitution recognized tradition and customs and that they should be protected. He maintained that the state government would do everything possible to protect the customs and traditions of the Kano people. When a person that is part of the emirate decides to destroy the traditions and customs and does only things that he deems fit, will not be allowed, the commissioner said. For over 100 years, it has been the tradition and customs in our clime that when an emir is deposed, he is banished to another community, and there is nothing unusual in the case of Malam Mohamedu Sanusi III, Lawan added. So there you are. They want to superimpose the supremacy of Janjaweedism over the Nigerian constitution. This is it. Janjaweedism overrides the Nigerian constitution. This is the assertion of the Kano State Attorney General. Do you concede that, Ajanle Koko, Janjaweedism overrides the Nigerian constitution? Good to see you, Ajanle Koko.
Good morning, one man. How are you?
I'm good.
Whenever the constitution and the culture run into constitutional provision and culture run into conflict, the constitution will prevail. That is what I know. So the culture of banishment, someone from his ancestral homeland to a place where he does not know, where he does not live, where he does not have family, it doesn't fit any purpose in the modern world. So it's totally unconstitutional to banish somebody. The Nigerian constitution does not allow that. The Nigerian constitution is totally opposed that. So why should an attorney general of a state who knows the law very well pushing this case haven't known clearly that he cannot win in the court? He cannot. There's no way he will win.
Why do they in the north insist on being perpetually backward? We try to educate them, they resist. We try to civilize them, they resist. You know for certain that they are going to throw religion at that space, and then they will use religion then to say they are trying to go against our religion. They will use, because that's where they always go to, isn't it? They will turn it into a religious thing, won't they?
Yeah, but religion or no religion,
Mm.
Any tradition, culture, religious, and eh, 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 any way of life that constitute threat to the constitution cannot work or function in a constitutional society. We have a constitutional democracy where constitution prevail. So, constitution is the law of the land, and we have to govern by the law of the land,
Mm.
and not by the constitution does not say that culture should not operate, but when culture has gone to the extreme in conflict with the constitution, then that cultural act or whatsoever have to mellow down to the constitution.
Mm.
You have to allow constitution to prevail. So we are in the modern world, as I was saying. They shouldn't push this case. They know that.
In fact, they should welcome it, because there are certain traditions that are just held on the tradition books until it comes into conflict with modern times. And traditionally, you would yield that tradition to look. There was a culture that got rid of our twins now because they had some spiritual. But then when modernity came, they celebrate having twins. You can't just to
It's
banish him to Nasarawa to do what?
to do what?
To do what?
To
What
do
is in
what?
Nasarawa? Only goat and chicken.
But look at it. What
An
has he done?
intellectual of that sagacity, you put him in Nasarawa. I mean, you might as well kill him now.
Oh, that yes.
Yeah.
So is this is totally unacceptable, and I don't know why they are pushing it. Why they cannot win. There is no way they will win. It's against the constitution. Constitution of Nigeria give every citizen in that country the right of movement, the right to live in any part of Nigeria, the right to but you cannot place your own culture above the constitution of constitution of the land. It is not
They
possible.
don't even really care. I think they see it more as a battle of wills between Gandola and Sanusi. That is really what it is. Ego, really, that is in play,
Yes,
isn't it? They
yes,
don't care
yes,
about some tradition. It's ego
yes.
that is in play.
It's ego, and it's just a nonsensical ego. I don't know what Gandola is really trying to achieve. You have kicked him out of that position of Maya, and he have said that he's not going to do anything to fight to get it back. What else? What else do you need? You want to from his ancestral home not to come to his home?
Mm.
I mean, that is
Do you know the issue that Ganduje has with Sanusi? Ganduje feels that Sanusi looks down his nose at him. That is the issue that he has. Sanusi, of course, a prince from one of the foremost royal households, not just in the north but in Nigeria. He's been a prince all of his life. He's been a wealthy man all of his life, and he's been celebrated as an intellectual of his life. So Ganduje, a PhD holder. So Ganduje, in many ways, is a modern man too, and his thinking. Ganduje was that he can work alongside somebody of Sanusi's status because he feels that there's some parity there, and together they can propel that space. But the arrogance of Sanusi now, he is a prince, he's a wealthy man, so but it's nothing personal against Ganduje, by the way. People like Sanusi, they will look down their nose at anybody because they just feel that they are above anybody. But that is really what grates on him, that guy just looks down at him, even though he's the governor.
Even though he's the governor, yeah.
Yes.
But I don't want to look at it like that. I just think that what the Sanusi was pushing for, and which GANDUJE did not want to do, he look at Sanusi as a person that by his action, it was exposing him. And being the Maya, he thought that he should be part of him in governance and not act in opposition against him. That is the way he saw the action of Sanusi, pushing for better governance, pushing for education for girls, pushing for admajeries to be taken out of the street, pushing for a good road, pushing for. So he saw all those calls by Sanusi as a call from an opposition.
Highlighting his failure as
highlighting his failure. And he saw him as a person acting like an opposition party. But rather, he was calling for better governance, and he wanted the best for his people, because as the admirer of of Kano, he wasn't happy seeing the rate of poverty, poverty in his people, and the kind of life the people are living there. He wasn't happy. So he thought that GANDUJE, being the head of government, have all the resources to better their life, but rather GANDUJE was taking dollars, stocking it in his pocket. We watched the video, and he just, instead of him to act responsibly and started, doing the right thing by taking those boys out of street, those Almajiri boys, and investing on education. It was perpetrating corruption. So he saw Sanusi as a voice of an opposition, and he has to take him out. And that is why he did what he did and took him out. So
you see, what I feel they have the issue with is not so much the 10 million naira. I mean, they will give him 10 million naira any day now. They will give him 10 million naira.
Yeah, what is 10
but
million?
Is the public apology published in 2 national dailies? So can you imagine that they would heaven, if they appeal it and they will just ignore it. They will never ever do that now to put out a public apology. That gives Sanusi the victory, doesn't it? They will never do that.
They will never do that, but they will do it. Since they appeal now, it might get to Supreme Court, and they will have to do it. So I believe that this ruling in favor of Sanusi, I believe it will go all the way up to Supreme. I believe that appeal court will confirm it. The rule in favor of this ruling by the High Court, and they will take it out to the Supreme Court. So the more they fail, the more they will ridicule their government and themselves. So I don't know what the shame will bring. Okay, apologize, give him the money, and let it. You have achieved what you wanted to achieve.
The best thing they could do is just to do it now, and not even don't say anything. Just do it and just move on.
Yes, just do it, and the case will bury there.
Yes, because that will even catch Sanusi off guard. Okay, take 10 million, and that's your apology. Oh yeah, man.
Okay.
Go to Lagos and be.
It's not GANDUJE that is going to apologize, but the government of Kano State.
There you are.
So what is GANDUJE losing? The government of Kano State, they are going to apologize and publish on the newspaper and bury it. Before you know, 1 week, the social media might carry it and boom, it's gone. But taking it, the cost of court proceeding, the cost of going to court, that in another way, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of the state resources in pursuing what cannot achieve any good results for them. So it's just the ego, just like you said, just want to show ego that cannot achieve anything for the state. It's just shame.
All right. Talking about public apologies, Ajale Koko, should the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry, should they apologize both to Lagosians and to the Nigerian state? Because the Lagos State Governor, of course, and the Lagos State government, they've gone through their panel report and they could not find any evidence then of these 9 people that they claim were killed at Lekki Toll Gate. So fake news, essentially the verdict from Lagos State government. What are you making then of Sanwo Olu's response to the panel that he himself constituted?
Well, just like I said yesterday, that Sanwo Olu have done well to constitute that panel and have done well to for amount of money that have been paid by the state government in compensation to those victims of police brutality. But on this white paper now, I will like to hold on a little bit and get more fact about it. But I want to wait and get more fact about this white report before I can make a comprehensive comment, or
all right. Ajale Koko, I'm going to put the link for you to have a really detailed look at that white paper. But in addition, we'll be discussing it at greater length in the later session. But I wanted to isolate that 9 persons that were killed. But because they've read the report now and they are responding to what they read in the report. And what the Lagos State government is saying is that outside of listing these names that Chineke, Emeka, Ade, whatever, all of the names that outside of listing these names, there was nothing in the report to justify the assertion that that massacre took place or indeed anybody was killed. There's a doctor of Fafunwa or something that said one person died of a gun-related injury the day after that hashtag Endsars protest. But there's no account of anybody dying at that space. And outside of listing those names, there was nothing in the report to indicate that anybody was killed. So, I mean, they vaunt the CV of the people that constituted, that composed of that panel, but it looks as though they just did a Mickey Mouse job. A Mickey Mouse job by our senior intellectual elites, essentially the verdict from Lagos State.
But woman, if we really want to look at that report, according to what we read about it, was that, and the what the pathologists during the proceeding or during the panel proceeding, what he said was that the 9 people were brought, 9 people were killed, right? And only one person that they discovered that he died of gunshot. And the bullet that they recovered from the body was not a military bullet. You understand what I'm saying? So that 9 people died. 8 of them were not died of gunshot. 1 died of gunshot. The bullet recovered from the body was not identified as a military bullet. So that contradiction somehow, I mean that statement indicates that they were not killed by the military. But then the report described the killing as massacre. So the government now saying it is not massacre due to the reason that they were not killed by the military. So that is the position of government, that they were not killed by the military. The gunshot that killed only 1 of them was not by the military. And due to that reason, it cannot be described as massacre by the military. So
do you think, are you disappointed that panel that esteemed could not do a proper job? That they are just picking holes in just a report that took them 1 year. They're just immediately picking holes out of it.
They you know, the contradiction in that report does not appear good to me. And I don't know why they have to work that hard and work that long and couldn't come out with specificity in their report, but rather some conflict of interest in that report. That was what is giving people like Lai Mohammed,
the Rigo room, the escape.
So I don't know why they have to
if they successfully rubbish this report, which they are trying hard and almost looking like succeeding in doing, the reputational damage to the panelists, it will be irrecoverable. They will not come back from it. The reputational damage, yes.
Oh, yes. I don't think the government of Lagos really want to rubbish the report. The only thing that they are trying to do is to protect you see that word of massacre.
Yes, but
that is what they are trying to delete.
You know the totality of that report. There's only one item. Everything is just were people killed or not. That is really all anybody wants to hear from that report. And that is the difficulty then that the Lagos State government has to contend with. Because whether they want to or not, they have to necessarily rubbish that report. Because if they don't rubbish it, because the report is just really essentially, we know it covers a lot of things, but the meat and drink of it, the silver bullet, the only thing is were people killed or not. So the report is saying people were killed. So if they don't rubbish it, then they have to accept that people were killed. And if they accept that people were killed, then there has to be consequences. So
yes.
So they have no choice but to rubbish that report.
Yes. I don't want to agree that they want to rubbish it in entirety. The only issue they're trying to take out from it is that issue of massacre. They don't want the report to portray that massacre of people. That is what
Okay. Okay, Ajande
that is what,
Koko.
yes.
If they succeed in removing that massacre from the report, to tone it down, to fade it away, to just to delete it essentially, that, or to dabaru it, do they not think that the public then will consider that report a rubbish, a nonsense?
Yeah, but
If they
one man.
succeed in
Oh yes,
rubbishing
oh yes.
the
People will,
massacre,
yes,
then the
people,
public will consider the report a rubbish, a
yes, you're
nonsense.
right. People will consider it as nonsense, but the panel failure to really
Nail it down. Yeah.
nail it down, that with specificity, that people were actually killed, people were actually massacred. That is the problem in that report. That is the problem in that report. They couldn't specify clearly that people were massacred in that report. That is the problem in that report. If they had came out with abundant of fact that those 9 people were killed by military, it would have been a different game. The government wouldn't have any way, any leeway at all to, there would have been any leeway for them to, trying to rubbish the report, or trying to say that, look, there's a conflict here. The pathologist said they couldn't find
Even the
anybody.
Lagos State government, they were using the word inconsistency in reference to the report.
Yes.
So if the most important item in the report shows that level of inconsistency, and you have to sympathize with the narrative that is trying to rubbish this report, that especially the massacre space. The panel told us that a massacre in context happened. What does that even mean? Nobody
That
really
is what
understands. They are trying to be
I
clever
don't
with
really
language.
understand.
Yes, they are
That
trying to
is
be
what,
clever with language. And then
yes, that
they list names. They don't back it up with the evidence, that this is the evidence that arrived us at this conclusion. Some they even list first names with no last names. So it's just, you can see how people can easily rubbish it because it is a bit of a nonsense.
there's somebody they mentioned there that was killed, but later came out publicly that I'm alive.
Look at that.
I'm not. So
Look at that.
this
Ebunade Boruwa. What is that? What is that woman's name? What is I don't know her name. Some esteemed judge.
yeah.
Eh? The
So
rumors of my demise is grossly exaggerated. Look at that.
yeah.
Somebody is dead or dead alive. Yeah. Oh,
So
my shit.
this so the report gives room for government to rubbish it. And what do you want government to do when the report is full of inconsistency? There's no specific. They were not specific about the killing, people that are killed, and evidences to prove that, oh yes, these 9 people, 100 people, these are the facts, and they were not able to establish that. That is the problem in that report. But, Lagos State government, that report has given them that leeway, to rubbish it in the first place. But the rest of it, the recommendation that has to do with the federal government action on the military and all the rest, well, that is another thing that we're going to see what the federal government going to do. I mean, the misconduct of the military by the way the unprofessional way that they attack that place, and is another thing that should be looked into. So this report, I don't really know. The report is giving the government the chance, to rubbish it, and
I mean, out of the 32 recommendations of the panel of the report, they've accepted pretty much all of it, and they rejected only one. So they accepted 11 in totality, and then they did as it was that 14 more in with amendments, and then they rejected one, and about 7 they say it's outside the purview of the state, so that will be it will be you know uh, forwarded on to the federal space, that this is what is being recommendation, and this is what is being recommended rather, and this, so you take action as you deem fit. So they did accept rather most of the recommendation, if not all of the recommendation. But then, of course, the key one, which is what everybody cares about.
Massacre.
Yes.
Yeah, that is one. But if we are in their own position with that report, would we accept that was a massacre?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Not with something that feeble.
Yes.
You just list. You say a massacre took place, and you just list names.
I don't know the meaning of massacre. I mean, a lot of people have been killed.
It's a heavy word and a loaded word.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the meaning of massacre? So the panel, they really did a bad job right there, using the word massacre for killing of 9 people that were identified by pathologists that were not killed by the military. Only one that was killed with a gunshot, and the gunshot, the bullet recovered from the body is not a military bullet. So why should that be described as massacre? I mean, they did a bad job there.
All right, thank you, Aden Lekoko. Still with that Endsars space, that invitation that Sanwo Olu sent out to people, Dele Farotimi responds, they are just looking for elegant words to put this guy down. I don't work with murderers. Dele Farotimi replies to Sanwo Olu. Do you think then the governor of Lagos State should have another press conference withdrawing the invitation, because they're just going to mock him? Just yesterday, Seun Kuti was streaming on Instagram and mocking and laughing and boasting. He says that he wants to be paid 3 million naira per step, and he wants to take 1,000 steps. So they're just mocking him.
That guy is crazy.
They are mocking. He should not have mentioned those names. That's certainly don't. Yeah, just so what are you making then of this mockery that they are making of the Lagos State governor?
Well, I don't think they have to mock the Lagos State governor. My reason for this is that the Lagos State governor is an elected governor of the people. He is occupying that position to work for the people of Lagos State, to make life better for the people of Lagos State. Them on their own side, as civil rights activists, are also working and fighting for the right of the people. So both of them are working one way or the other for the betterment of the people. And when the governor show a stretch a hand of friendship and hand of goodness to them, that let's come and meet, let's sit down, let's do something together, I think they should welcome it and meet the governor. they should use the opportunity.
How come you
So
rate this Sanwo Olu so highly? I'm not seeing anything in him that suggests this sort of level of credit that you're giving him. Why are you crediting him so highly, this
look,
guy?
I like what he has done so far after the Lekki incident. I like the way he set up that panel of inquiry. I like the way he has compensated the victim up to the tune of 409 million. I like the way he has visited the police officers' family that were killed and gave each family 10 million naira each and promised to give education to their children with scholarship by the state government up to any level they want to get education. I like the way that it did not interfere with the job of the panel. And I like the way that he is trying to engage with the people, with the civil rights movement. I like the way that he visited the demonstrator during the Endsars. He went to that one in Alawusa. He talked to those guys. That was where they name him this terminology of Sorosoke. That was where he emerged when he was talking. The guy said, Sorosoke. So, and he visited the one of Lekki. He has demonstrated that he is a leader that really have concern of the people and really want to work with the people and for the people. So I like him for that. I don't know much about how he has governed so far, his performance in governance. I know that he's not owing workers in Lagos State. So, but the level of his performance, I don't know much about it. But the way, what he has done, I think he has shown us that, yes, we still have a leader that can engage with us. That is what we need. We need leaders that can engage with us, that we can put forward our proposal or what we really want. We can put before him. This is what these people should do. The what do you call him? This human rights activists. All that they want him to do to
Would
better
working
the
with
life of
him not
Lagos.
be giving him a pass? Would they not be giving him a soft landing if they work with
they
him?
should not. They should not march with him. I don't want them to march, but I would like them to respond that, Mr. Governor, we don't want to march, but we want to meet with you. We have something to discuss with you. They should bring their own proposal the way they feel it can better the life of the people. How, I mean, how the police brutality should stop, the extortion by police and all this harassment of people in Lagos State by police should stop. So, and the way they kept people in detention, in police detention, all this must stop. This is the way, the time, opportunity for them to package their demand and take it to them that, let us see that it is sitting down. We don't want to march. If you succeeded in doing all this, in making sure that the police live up to their responsibility, that the police does not harass the people anymore in the Lagos State, and the police does not extort money, that is when we will march with you on the street. They should engage with him. That is the only way, that is the way out. If we don't engage, how do we stop problem? How do we stop problem? So they want to give the government to continue doing whatever they want to do. No, you have to engage with them. That is the way I see it.
But is there any indication that that sort of a meeting would lead to anything that is of any meaning? Because during the one of the things that led to the calming down of nerves. Like you said, Sanwo Olu, he went to it was at the epicenter of the demonstration and said, "What do you want?" And they
Yes.
gave him a list of demands, and he took them to the federal space. Not a single one of them. They tell us they disband. Remember when they told us they disbanded SARS, and the next day, the very next day, they said they have composed a new thing. So they
The
didn't
new one.
disband. They didn't disband SARS. They just rebranded it, renamed it. That was all. That this whatever yam head, some
Yes.
Fulani yam head that they. This is the problem,
That,
isn't it?
the
You know,
problem we have
so
is
not a single one of those demands has they said increase these people's salary so they don't feel the need to be robbing the
to be
citizens.
robbing. Yes.
They didn't do that. Improve their working conditions. They didn't do that. Take them off the streets. They didn't do that. Stop the brutality. They increased it. So what is the point then in the activist meeting? This Peperenpe guy in Lagos that
So
you read so much, yeah.
no, it's the problem is not with him. It's with the Lagos state. I mean, sorry, it's with the federal government. Federal government is the problem. These people, human rights activists, should engage with Lagos state governor and let them fight this criminality by police together. They should join hands to fight them together. This governor is ready.
Yeah, but is
He's
he
ready.
able? Is he able not in
It's
terms of
able.
capacity, but in terms of the
It's
reach of his power? Does he have the reach of power to effect the changes that the activists will ask of him? Is to retrain this police so that they know civil conduct and they know how to engage with society. Is to increase their capacity in all manners, from wages to equipment and everything. All of these things, they are federal purview. So he can lament all he likes on Wolu, but he cannot change even one police officer outside of Al Khalili or whatever the one is. Who, this Al Khalili now that he can't do anything.
Yes, let me tell you one man. Yes, he doesn't have the power, but he funded the police heavily in Lagos State. He funded them heavily.
Is what we are really talking about not state police? Is this not all roads lead to state police, doesn't it?
Yes, but the
You
federal
can't
government
have
doesn't want that to
somebody
happen.
from Borno superintending policing in Lagos.
Yeah. So the person we have at the chief commissioner of police is a Yoruba man.
Yes, but he's under Al-Khalili, isn't he?
Yes, it's under Al-Khalili. But the state government can engage with them, can tell them what they want, and they can work together to see how they can improve police conduct in Lagos. They can still work some things out. But if we don't meet, if we don't engage, if we don't dialogue, we won't have solution to the problem. So it's time for dialogue.
And this idea of the EFCC raiding apartments in Lagos and the southern part in Yoruba land, dragging people out of bed naked and humiliating them, calling them Yahoo boys.
This is
not
all
have
the
criminals in Sokoto and Kano and Kaduna. What is going on?
Yes, this is all the thing that the human rights activists should bring up. They should package together and meet with him. All these are violations of human rights. All these are unconstitutional. We cannot govern Lagos State. Lagos State is like a nation on its own. It contributes 30% to the GDP of Nigeria. It's the seventh largest economy in the whole of Africa. We don't want this to happen here. We don't want this to happen here. So all these nonsense. So they have to engage so that they can bring all this nonsense to the end. So this is my own opinion, and they shouldn't just rubbish him and said, oh, there's not. I mean, they don't want to work with it. We are not talking about working. Tell the governor, yes, we want to meet with you. Let us meet first, and then they should give him their demand. They should tell him, yes, we are ready to work with you, but we want to see something happening. We want you to use your good offices, to correct all these anomalies that the police they perpetrate, all this human right abuse, all this nonsense that police take our people through all the time. They have to engage with him. So they should not just if the federal government, if Buhari is doing this thing, is acting in such a manner of engaging with people, the nation will be better off. But Buhari does not want to engage with it; just want to use a brutal force.
He doesn't know how to speak in public. You know that.
It's just brutal force all the way.
Yeah, that is not the way to govern. That is the only thing Buhari knows. Don't let them get the guns and go and shoot them. That has been Buhari all his life.
That is not the way to govern in democracy. Democracy, we takes negotiation, lobbying and dialogue. So this governor is trying to dialogue with people, and they should cooperate with him. He has done well.
Oh, all right. Ajanle Koko, finally, let's go to your party man, Sowore. So he's in court again. I don't know. This guy should just take up residence in court, isn't he? Because he spent most of his days there. So is it that we in court with one person or the other? It's just the lawyers. I wonder how many lawyers have built houses off the back of that guy. So he's in court again. He's in court again, this time against the DSS, who are holding on to his phones. Remember that raid on his apartment in Lagos that now led to him being restricted to Abuja? They swept up a lot of things. They took his phones, they stole his money, and all of that, the DSS. So he's now in court trying to recover those phones. And the DSS now are saying they are investigating the phones for possible link to terrorism by Sowore. So they're trying to now, I don't know, terrorism, treasonable felony. I don't know if those are the only two classes that Malami attended at Utmandafodio University, but that certainly seems to be the charge against anybody that is against the brutality of the Buhari regime. Felony, treasonable felony, and terrorism. So they are now trying to investigate his phones for links to terrorism. So essentially, they are trying to link Sowore's name to terrorism. So that is what they're trying to do off the back of him asking for his phone back. So two things. One, what are you making of that attempt to link Sowore to terrorism? And two, do you think the criminals now, do you think they've just stolen the phones and they don't now, maybe they've sold it off, all those gangsters in DSS? What are you making of Sowore's latest escapade with the DSS?
I mean, one man, we should be ashamed that we have a state, how do I call them? A state secret service, or what do they call them? That act very unprofessional. This is very, very unprofessional. And it just shows incompetence in them. And it just shows that they don't fit for the purpose of setting up the agency. They don't. If we don't have them, it will be better than having them and violate the law all the time, violate the right of the people. You took phone for over 2 years now. You're searching for them. You have not for over 2 years. You have not.
We're losing you somewhat, Janle Koko. And even the modern phone, anyway, is essentially just a software. So all you need to do is to download whatever it is on that phone and hand it back. You know, the phone as an equipment in itself is not,
For 2 years, for 2 years, they are still looking for his link with terrorism on the phone for 2 years. They have not charged him to court on anything. And the money they took there, they have not returned it to him. So these criminals we have in uniform, they are the same thing they did in Igbo's house. All the money, the phone, everything.
They stole.
All
They just stole everything, did they?
Yes, they stole everything. It's just so. This is why the federal government have not shown any capacity that they are going to follow the law at any time. They don't have interest in the rule of law. They just want to do whatever they like. So, and that is what these DSS are doing, that whatever we want to do, we will do it and nothing can happen. And for 2 years, you are holding someone's phone, you didn't return the phone, you didn't charge him to call for terrorism, you said you are still looking. That is an act of incompetence. That is an act of, that's a violation of the rule of law, is a violation of human rights. Give him his phone. What, you don't have anything to do with his phone. You give him his money. It's just you had this kind of situation, and you just look at what kind of country are we? What kind of country are we? So Sowore is doing the right thing to fight for his right. Mm-hmm. He have to get his phone back, and they have no reason for holding his phone for so long. They must return it to him. But it's just very shameful that DSS, everything and every conduct, all their conduct, you can see
it's just like a violation. Am I stretching it when I say it's just like gangsterism, the way Nigeria is being? Am I stretching it?
No.
Just like gangsterism. Right. It's essentially being run by gangsters. This is what seems to be the experience.
They are gangsters and they are criminals. They are criminals in uniform. Whose interests are they serving? Is that the way to serve the interests of the state? No.
Can you recall a positive narrative about the DSS, just for balance, just to not to seem like we just come here to castigate them all the time? I have no memory of a positive narrative or headline regarding the DSS. Can you recall one that
I don't know. I don't have idea of anyone. I don't have idea of anyone. And what they are doing, and the administration is not checking them against all this illegality, they are just painting the administration bad. It is either they are doing it and the administration is not, it approve them to do it, or administration is safe, it does not know what is going on around them. But I believe they know, and it's with the approval of the administration. And this is enough to tag this administration as an administration that sponsored state criminality.
Yes.
State criminality and state oppression of the people. Yes. It is just.
It is unbelievable, is what it is, Ajanle Koko, that the conversation that we're having in Nigeria is the conversation that we are having in Nigeria in 2021. You know, this is 2021, Ajanle Koko, and we're talking about the DSS stealing people's phones. We're talking about army going on the streets and shooting people. Wow. We're talking about cows on the 2021. 2021. This is the conversation. It is unbelievable.
It's gone for 26 years. It has going on for 26 years. This is shameful.
All right. Thank you, Ajaleko. Let's go on to Charlie Boy, who can't contain himself anymore. We'll go to Charlie Boy and then land on Jafar. So, Charlie Boy, good to see you. What are you then making
Yeah,
of this narrative of the Endsars panel report being rubbished by the Lagos State that constituted the panel to do the probing? Charlie Boy.
this is sad. And what that guy Tony said yesterday, I agree with 100%. What the guy
Did
Tony
you
said yesterday.
understand anything he said? You
Yeah,
will
what
be
he
the
said,
only
but
one.
what he said yesterday is the truth, and the South
It
should wake
wasn't
up.
only speaking yesterday, it was Igbo
No. What he
speaking.
said,
That
the
was
South, I think the South Nigeria should wake up, and we like what Tony said yesterday too. They should wake up from the misery. They should wake up because here's a fact. All these NSAS, all these police control, it's controlled by the top. They have a top that control all these police officers or the army. The northern leads that control these police officers and the army. They're controlling them. That's why Lai Muhammad, he doesn't care about the South. He could lie. He doesn't care if people die. For him, he doesn't give a damn if people die. For him, because for him, he cares. For him, he cares about the money, not people dying. I think what happened, they not tricked the Lagos government. He tricked them just to stop the investigation. That's what they do. That's how not get to trick you. They give you money. They give billions of night just to trick you, just to you not say the truth.
How do you know this, Charlie Boy?
No, I don't know this, but that's my opinion. Because I know.
Okay.
And I'm sad because I realized what the guy Tony said yesterday. I thought we joke, but I realized in my head what Tony is saying is kind of right. But it's and South Nigeria to realize what he's saying. Here's the fact: people in people in people know Nigeria, the Nigerians, but they look great. They don't act like Nigerians. I'm saying the truth. They don't act like Nigerians.
How should the Nigerian act?
Because people in North, people know they act different. You could tell.
In what way?
They act different. They're not.
In what way? In what way?
The way they act different is that people North, they act different because in the people North, they don't really care about life that much compared to people in the South. You could tell.
Why do you say that?
Because why is that? Why is it not the most dangerous place in Nigeria to this day? Why is that? Go ask the question. And why is America? Why the whole world say don't go to North too dangerous? It's on the dangerous list of the states that have killed everyone. What's going on? What are the other leaders doing? What are they doing there? And they can't let the South have an inside panel to know. Guess what? That's common sense. You kill somebody and you get the body and you put the body in the river. It must be who did this? Who are the people being killed? We should have that. But Lai Muhammad doesn't want to do it because he know the outside panel will save him. He knows that. He knows that. That's why you don't do anything. You know the northern leads will save him. Because northern leads you just don't care. That's the truth. The northern leads don't put their people in check. They don't do that. They're just standing there. I'm sorry to say.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think the northern elites don't put their people in check? What do you think the bigger picture is for them?
Because my opinion, the northern elite don't. If you are not in check, the northern elite know that this Nigeria is for them. They know that. That's the truth. They know that one Nigeria is benefit them more than other tribes. They know that. That's the truth. That's the reason they don't want to do it because they know that. They know that the British helped them get this one Nigeria. Because South don't want Nigeria, but they know that for them it benefit them. That's the truth. Because they want to torture the South. That's why I was mad the other time. Nigeria to end. Nigeria should end. One reason why Nigeria should end. Here's the reason why Nigeria should end. Nigeria should end is really because if you say Nigeria should end, then why is it not controlling the South? They're not controlling the South to this day. Not controlling the South in 26 years. Not controlling the South.
How do you mean they not? In what way is the North controlling the South? In what way?
I'm sorry to say, Mom, you're not being. I'm sorry to say. If you look, here's the reason I'm saying. Look at Basel State. Basel State have oil. Why Basel State are poor? Look at all the oil states in Nigeria. They're on the South, but they're poor. Who control that? The North control the resources. That's the reason why.
How so? How have you arrived at that conclusion?
And that's one reason why the Nigerian material are angry. I don't blame them. I don't blame them for them to be angry. I don't blame them for being angry. I don't blame them because the North took all the resources from the South. And the issue, the Southern government don't realize it. They're not eventually Yoruba may be gone. I'm saying this. Yoruba Igbo land might be gone in a few years. because they're coming to take over your land. They're coming fully, woefully. And this Endsars panel is effective. They want to kill your people. They don't care. The lies of CNN realize they're liars. CNN realize that they're liars. That's what CNN immediately says they're lying.
But CNN published an unverified report.
No, that CNN don't do that. No, I don't believe. CNN
No,
said
they
that
did
too.
do that. They did do that. Oh, no, it's proven
if
not
Lai
to be the
could lie
case.
about the killing, that's like no. That would be like if a northern guy could lie about killing innocent people. That's scary. That's scary in the modern world. A guy who's in office shouldn't be lie about somebody being killed. And why hiding the body for? How do you feel if your family got killed and your body was hid? How do you feel? Let's say a mother born a child. She want a child to have a future, and now you're gonna come and kill the child and bury the body. How the mother's gonna feel? The mother be crying, bleeding. How the mother will feel? Her child was buried in the river, and now you're gonna be saying about it. Now one is lying. How
But
does that
no
feel?
mothers have come forward, Charles. How many mothers have you seen come forward to declare their child missing?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay, if they could hide the body, those people might be mothers of a son.
Charles. Answer that question, Charles. How many parents have you seen come forward to declare their word missing?
I'm gonna say they come. I'm gonna say they come forward. I'm just saying. See, his people realize. People could be think. Where realize that.
If people were killed at Endsars, would their families not have come forward, Charles?
Woman, you know, this is Nigeria. Woman, don't be saying, Nigeria. Nigeria government lie. This is Nigeria government.
No. Answer that question, Charles. If people were killed at Endsars, would their family not have come forward?
No. This is what Nigeria government. This is my opinion. This is what I think Nigeria government do. They'll kill. They'll shoot you. Then they'll bury the body.
Right.
We don't even know until let's say 5 years. Until 10 years.
And would your family not come forward to declare you missing?
Yeah, it's like the 19 Igbo people.
No. Would your family not come forward to declare you missing if that happened?
Yeah, but Nigeria, the family be scared. The family in Nigeria is scared to come forward.
All the families from Endsars are scared.
But Nigeria, they'll kill you if you come forward. They'll shoot you dead. This is Nigeria talking about. Nigeria shoot you dead if you come forward. Look at what happened to 19 Igbo people who were arrested for no reason. This is showing sign. This Nigerian government evil. They'll kill you and bury your body, and you don't know. I thought when Jan Kuko was right. I think God bless Jan Kuko. Jan Kuko was right when he say that. He realized even Jan Kuko said until you hide your body where you tell your family until 10 years. Until 10 years, you find out that you someone that. How that happen in the modern world? In the modern world we live in. Some bury the body in the river. Who does that in the modern world? This is great humanity.
All right.
All we go into I don't care. Just go into court. Enough's enough with these damn people, killing people. Enough's enough. That's why I want the Nordics to stand up. Come on, Nordics, stand up to the bad people in your lead. Stand up. Say enough to them. If you say your people, stand up. Because why you show me that you guys want Nigeria just to kill people? What the hell is one Nigeria for? If people are dying, people being killed. Because look, how can Nigeria who killed South Africa or Nigeria who fled South Africa come to Nigeria, but they being killed here? How's that possible? They can kill South Africa and Nigeria at the same time? Come on, how is that possible? This is sad. Nigeria is being disgraced in the whole world.
All right, thank you.
Enough's enough. I'm tired of it. Enough's enough.
Thank you, Charles.
People are dying. People are suffering. People are suffering in America. They're struggling. The people are suffering around the world. Everything people.
Yeah, no, but hold on, Charles. What you are saying is not unique or peculiar to Nigeria. It's a third world phenomenon. Every third world country, the people are suffering and the people are escaping to greener pastures. So it's not unique or peculiar to Nigeria.
I know it's escaping, but the reason I'm saying is because how can How can Rwanda? How can a small country like Rwanda?
Why do you keep going to Rwanda? Rwanda is only a sliver. Rwanda is not even the size of Ikeja.
No,
It's just some
Nigeria must
little.
get sense.
It's just some little
Sense.
dot.
Nigeria
A dot
must
in
get
a circle,
sense.
as Buhari told
Sense
us.
is
It's a dot
Nigeria
in a
must get
circle.
sense. They must get sense. One is I'm gonna keep saying one. Nigeria must get sense. Rwanda killed one half genocide. What happened to Rwanda? They learned from the lesson. Now Rwanda is one of the best countries in Africa. How is that possible? How can a small country like Rwanda get sense and not the best country and Nigeria sued it for 26 years? This is a disgrace. Look at Ghana. Ghana is getting better now. Kenya, Ghana, all going to get better, but Nigeria is getting backward. Come on, man.
Charles, do you know what the population of Rwanda is? 13 million.
Yeah.
Yes, 13 million. Let me check for Lagos for you.
Population doesn't matter.
Do you know what the population of Lagos is? 14.8 million. Just Lagos.
You know the population of French? The population
So you can't compare Rwanda, which is just some tiny little hamlet, you know?
No, you have to compare.
Because you can't compare hamlet. It's a hamlet, isn't it, really?
No, you have to compare. Because they're accusing the Eastern for one country.
You always go to Rwanda all the time.
You have to compare. Size doesn't matter. That's like you have to compare.
Size doesn't matter. Is that what you tell the girls?
No, we have to
look at this guy.
I'm sorry today. We have to all Nigeria. We have to tell them the truth. We can't lie to them. You have to tell them the truth. What happened in this country? You have to tell them the truth. What's going on in Nigeria? You have to tell them the truth. Enough's enough with this. You have to tell them the truth.
Yeah, but are you telling the truth or painting a narrative?
How can you say one Nigeria when the people who control this country are killing you every day for one Nigeria? My foot.
Charles is right. What he's saying there, in essence, is that we in Nigeria, Nigeria in particular, fail to manage our resources prudently to work for Nigerians. That is what he's saying.
But Rwanda, I'm saying is not unique. Rwanda is we can't compare Rwanda or Ghana with Nigeria, you know, because their geographical mass is very small, their population is very small, and with that small a mass and a population is easier to manage. And if you can get it right, then you will get it right. But Nigeria is a very complex space, you know.
One is big, the same black. We're black.
The same black. Look at that.
But the amount of resources we have, you mentioned the population size, our population, and we look at all the natural resources that were given to us by God: oil, gemstone, bitumen, gold, iron ore. Which one have we?
Emerald. There's emerald in the north.
Yeah, and then the agricultural produce that we have everywhere. What have we used?
There are wildlife that is only unique to Nigeria.
So all those countries doesn't have it. We have all these things in large quantity everywhere. But what have we done with them? So we are just a nation that.
Ajali Koko, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, one man. Good morning, Charles. Ajali Koko, you asked a pertinent question. What have we done with it? The answer is obvious. We have created a lot of billionaires in Africa. That's the answer to your question.
Jaffa, we created millionaire for themselves, not for the people, not for the good of the country. Yes.
Yeah. It was never in the interest. It was never in the national interest.
That is unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So in order to make a difference, there must be a paradigm shift completely.
Yeah. So, but how to do it is the problem now. The paradigm shift we're talking about. People don't want to take the courage, you know, to do it. That is the problem. So
all right, let's invite Jafar to take that courage. So thank you, Charlie boy. So let's go on.
One more thing. See, another thing. You really want Nigeria billionaires or idiots? Because look at Kenya. Kenya have billionaires, but how can Kenya building roads and infrastructure for the people when Nigeria billionaires are stealing the money? That's a difference.
Nigeria is building infrastructures. Did you not hear about the second Niger bridge, the Lagos Ibadan Railway?
Second Niger bridge. What Kenya is building is more than second Niger bridge.
What are they building?
That's right. That's right. What Charles is saying is right.
What are they building? Are they not just some wildlife tourist spots?
Who celebrate the bridge?
Oh, they're just some wildlife.
Why are we celebrating a bridge? This is sad. Celebrating just a bridge. I wonder what people building bridges everywhere around the world. Why are we celebrating a bridge? Where people in Kenya are building the tallest skyscraper in Nairobi, infrastructure.
The tallest skyscraper in Nairobi. Is that as tall as Is that as tall as Cocoa House? What are you talking about? Is that as tall as Cocoa House? That's not as tall as Cocoa House.
Who in the money world? The Americans celebrate the bridge when they build it. America don't celebrate bridges. Don't celebrate it. Why in Nigeria celebrate it? Just we build what we all celebrate.
Have they built the equivalent of Third Mainland Bridge in Kenya? We've had it for 30 years. Have they done anything to that magnitude?
Kenya done more
it's just some wildlife reserve now. It's a wildlife tourism and a sex tourism for middle-aged white women. They don't talk about Kenya. Kenya is just, Masai, what's it? And that.
You don't want to hear it. I know he bites, but you gotta hear it too sometimes. I know he bites, but you gotta hear it.
All right, thank you.
Great humanity. May God help Nigeria.
Thank you, Charlie Boy, the speaker of the truth. So from the speaker of the truth to the voice of reason to Jafar. So Jafar, are you there?
Charlie Boy, you are doing really good.
Yeah, excellently.
This platform. One man platform has really improved. Charlie Boy.
You can hear his confidence
doing
growing.
A great research now.
Can you hear his confidence growing?
Oh yeah.
Now you are back before. Yeah, well done, Charles.
I'm proud of you so much. I'm proud of you.
We really love you. Yeah. You are the best.
All right. Thank you. So to you, Jafar, then the rubbishing of this Lagos panel report, they are just picking holes through it. This Justice Okwobi, this one, what is that one that calls himself SAN? And you think these lofty and mighty people, they will nail down Buhari once and for all? They come up with all of these names as 9 dead, Massacre in context, which is just some ludicrous jingoism, just playing words, just nonsensical nonsensity. And they put these names up without putting evidence, haven't sat for 1 year to gather as much. They gave them open check to nail this thing down, and they failed at the first order. So what are you making then of the rubbishing of the judicial panel report from Lagos State, Jafar?
To start with, I will want to give credit first to the governor of Lagos State, because he acted like a gentleman. He was motivated. His primary motivation was to seek the truth and establish the fact that about the police brutality and what actually transpired in Lekki. However, as a politician, in my view, this is a personal opinion, and people might disagree. I think he was weak and naive in the sense that he thought everybody had a clear and good intention about truth finding. That's where I actually have an issue with his approach. But I cannot question his motivation. I think he genuinely believed that he was doing the right thing, and he wanted to establish the truth. Having said that,
do you think the Lagos State governorship is beyond him? Do you think he's sitting in boots that are bigger than him? Do you think he has the capacity?
Yes. Actually, his management of this issue raises a lot of concern about his. I mean, Lagos State is the biggest state in Nigeria. It's like he rightly said, 22 million people. Managing 22 million people will just doesn't take anybody to come out and do it. So it raises a lot of question about his. I don't want to question his capacity, intellectual capacity, or otherwise about his management, but his political experience and sagacity in managing the space, because you have to factor a lot other issue. And Ajali Koko may correct me. That's your space. You might correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you are a Nigerian too. You're entitled to speak to Lagos, but
no, I can speak to Lagos, but I might not master the Lagos politics as Ajali Koko. That's a fact, and I will give him that. I will give him that. So, but my issue is that okay, he had a clear intention, a good intention, a noble one for that. But what he failed to understand.
You are right, Jafar. You are right.
Does everybody share in that his zeal, his desire for truth finding? That's what it plays, and I equally give him credit for allowing the panel absolute liberty to do their job without necessary intervention. He did not intervene, and the members of the panel are said to that there was no intervention from the Lagos state government. But now, what did he get from all that he did to them? They stabbed him in the back, and this is the key issue. The release of the report, they leaked the report, even before he had an opportunity to go through it. The report was already out there.
Is the report fast turning into a Mickey Mouse report? Is it now looking like a Mickey Mouse report?
Oh yeah, because they wanted to blackmail him. They wanted to blackmail him because they look at him as a weak governor that was pandering to the public opinion. And there is a time in life when you are in government, either governor, local chairman, president, that you might take some decisions that are not publicly accepted, that are not the best in the view of the people, right? And those are one of the issues that I fought. And to me, to be honest with you, the report in its entirety, even though it has a lot of controversy and inconsistency that I personally might not, because I don't have the fact with me, I can just base my knowledge of the report based on what is out there in the public domain. But I had an issue with the definition of massacre. I tried to check it, look at the dictionary definition of massacre, and I'm like seriously finding it hard to believe that, assuming 9 people were killed, that constitutes a massacre based on the definition of massacre.
Well, they called it massacre in context, so they were trying to do some linguistic gymnastics, to.
So I don't know what is a massacre in context, but I know a massacre has to involve with a lot of people, and the example I saw, even though a lot might mean different things to different people, but the dictionary definition, the example they gave me was like about a deliberate attempt to kill people, 2,000, for example. And to me, by no extension of the English language, could 9 equate to a lot, even though one life is more than enough.
It is a lot. We cannot accept the army going to shoot people.
One life is a lot, but I don't think that constitutes a massacre. And that's the problem. Probably if they had not leaked the report, we could have just been dealing with the executive summary and the white paper. That's my view. And I think they were not being fair to the governor. He gave them ample opportunity to do their job. Then they started in the back by leaking the report. That's my issue.
You see, Jafar, I don't object to the leaking of the report. In fact, I think it's a good thing, because if they had not leaked the report, the government would have just given us a watered down version. So I think it was a good thing they leaked it. But what I object to is the rather feeble job that they did, given the 1 year that they had to do it. When they list names and they don't back it up with evidence, and then they give Buhari an escape route for killing people.
So my view is that if they didn't leak the report, people would not have had opportunity to see the inconsistency in their report. For example, how could you have somebody that you declare dead, at the same time that same person is petitioning in the panel, and he's even standing as a witness, somebody that is supposedly dead. So, I mean, you see, it's just so ridiculous. It becomes very ridiculous. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they were thinking that people would not read it.
Do you think the panelists have suffered an irreparable reputational damage all these Okwobis and the Adegboruwas, that you hear those names and you go to bed easy. Do you think they suffered a reputational damage, and do you think the damage is irreparable?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't want to rubbish people's credibility. I mean, a repetition they have built throughout their career based on an isolated case like this. I'm not going to go that far, but I knew that probably they are not politicians. Most of the members of the panelists are not politicians, and they could not understand the political dynamics involved in the job they were doing. It was all over. They were having pressure from all over.
So do you think they were looking to speak to populism with the report? Do you think they were wanting to speak to what the people
Yes,
wanted? They were
yes,
seeking,
yes, yes. I
give
believe. I
the
sincerely
give the
believe.
people what they want, sort of. Yeah.
I sincerely believe that. And when you see people like activists like Falana, who were always coming and tapping them on the back, this is the best report ever written by any judicial panel ever created in Nigeria. I mean, it's just that they just have to, they were pushed to that end. They were pushed for the most part to that conclusion. So I feel bad for them. Their job was not an easy one, to be honest with you, and they made the job even more difficult for the governor, who, from every indication, was really motivated at getting to the root of what transpired. But they made his job very difficult for him. I feel bad for him. I don't know how he's going to.
Hello. Sorry, Jafar. So, according to you, what exactly? You're just saying they embarrassed the governor. They did that, but you're not telling us exactly how exactly did they do that? In your own opinion, how did they make job difficult for the governor?
Yeah, they made the job very difficult for him by the quality of the report they presented to the public. They leaked to the public.
Is it because
the report that is filled with inconsistency?
Is it because of the term, like you said, massacre?
Yeah, for example, that's a big word. How do you expect anybody to arrive to such conclusion? Any rational person who would read your report to say you said 9 people were dead, assuming it was 9 that died, then you have to qualify that term as a massacre. Then maybe probably you could have equally just used a genocide. I mean, those words, you don't just use words casually like that.
Well, Jafar,
and how do you expect the governor? How would any governor just like that accept such a report?
Wait now, you see, I thought you said you found out the meaning of massacre. So if they say many people, the brutal killing of many people, are you saying that 9 people is not many people?
And I equally say many means different things to different people. And when you go back to different definition of massacre, some people may even allude it to. The example in the dictionary will give you 2,000.
No, in fact, according to
9.
In fact, it's not even many that they used. If you do that research again, or if you find the meaning, they said multiple. If you go to
some dictionary use the word a lot of people.
It's not even dictionary. This is Google, Wikipedia. You just
my God! I usually don't like people to be citing Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not an intellectual research machine. Anybody can write anything and post on Wikipedia. There is no peer review. So if you want to do any research, please do not cite Wikipedia.
So what's the point? The whole point of the whole thing is that.
All right, let's not get hung up on a word, but I agree somewhat with Nsibidi. 9 is enough to constitute a massacre. Even 1 is. I mean, the intent is also a factor. You can't just go around shooting people. You can't. We cannot. I mean, surely we cannot agree on that you cannot go around shooting people. We can't.
We cannot agree on that. But the issue is that would you equally say it's a genocide?
Well, it's a genocide.
That's a genocide.
The intent is genocidal. The intent is a factor as well. The intent is genocidal.
We don't know the intent. there is no evidence to suggest the intention.
You don't know the intent. When somebody is kneeling down and singing, and you open AK-47
we don't know the intention.
You know the intent now. The intent is genocidal. You have a mass of people in a condensed area, and you open AK-47 on them. Is that not a genocidal intention? What are you talking about?
Jafar,
don't do that, man.
Yes, sir.
One man and Jafar. I think because we are from a nation or a country rather, where people are killed with like chicken. Maybe that is why we don't understand the meaning of massacre. We are thinking that people have to be killed in thousands or hundreds, and that is what constitutes massacre.
Listen to what Biafra is saying. He's coming here to tell us that they've not killed enough. Maybe you should send them back, Jafar, with the guns again. You are saying they did not kill enough.
Look at the incident that happened in France when those terrorists killed those newspaper newspaper auditor for writing something bad about Prophet Muhammad.
Stella Abdul or something.
Charlie Hebdo.
Look at the way the whole country came out. President Fonseca came. They marched on the street in support of that newspaper because it was regarded as a massacre.
No, it was not.
People.
The French communique did not qualify that incident as a massacre. People were actually fighting for free speech, about the right of people to express their mind, regardless.
The same thing happened in Nigeria. People were fighting for the right,
different,
for their own right. But look,
it's different. So let's stick to the facts.
When look, I came earlier and was opposed to that word of massacre as well. But when you look at it, that the meaning that multiple people, 9 is multiple as well, isn't it?
No, the
killing of multiple.
Multiple. Which dictionary are you referring to, NCBD?
What do you mean by dictionary, man?
No, that's why you get definition of words. That's why you get definition of words.
We have to send the army back to go and kill some more. This is the thing.
If you are looking for a meaning of a word, go to the dictionary.
Wait, Jafar. If you go to Google right now and you type the meaning, under the meaning you will see the reference point. You will see that it's written from the Oxford English whatever dictionary. So which dictionary?
Okay, so that's what I want you to say. If you are referring, say Oxford Dictionary.
That's
okay. Just to settle, hold on. Can you hold on, gentlemen, please? Just to settle this, I'm not even sure why we are doing this, but just to settle this, I'll just get it from about 2 or 3 sources. Okay. So the word massacre, an indiscriminate and brutal slaughter of many people. The attack was described as a cold-blooded massacre, deliberate and brutal killing many people. Thousands were brutally massacred by soldiers. So on and on it goes. So many people seems to be the abiding. The act or an instance of killing a number of usually helpless and unresisting human beings under circumstances of atrocity. An act of killing a lot of people. He ordered the massacre of 2,000 women. Massacre, the unnecessary, indiscriminate killing of a large number of people or animals, as in a barbarous warfare or persecution. So many people seems to be the abiding qualification there. So if 9 does not qualify as many, then maybe we should just send the armies back to go and shoot some more. What do you say?
Yes, I think that panel, one man, I think that panel is right for describing that as a massacre.
It was a massacre.
I personally don't believe
right.
They should have. I don't believe their choice of word of massacre did them any good, because it gave the opponent of the report ample reason to just keep it aside.
All
which
right.
is evidenced by what the Lagos State governor did.
It was a massacre for people
It was
that
a massacre. It
yeah,
was a
people
massacre.
It
that
was a
it was
massacre
a
for people
massacre
who already
for
have
people
an agenda,
that were
who are
not
not
carrying
interested
harm,
in establishing the
defenseless
truth.
people being defenseless people that were not carrying arms. That was a massacre. Yes, I think
The definition is an indiscriminate slaughter of helpless people.
yes,
Indiscriminate slaughter of helpless people.
of helpless. Yes, that
And
that is
that
the
is for
that is
word
the
happened in Lekki
qualification
State.
that
Word for
qualify
word.
what happened in Lekki. That was the right description of what happened in Lekki. So it is massacre, which you agree with them as is massacre. And Sanwo Olu have to it shouldn't rubbish that report. It shouldn't play game with it. Otherwise, he's going to be facing. He's going to face a real problem from the populace.
All right. Thank you. Sorry, Nsibidi, for reasons of time, let me just move Jafar on to another talking point, and then I'll come to you and Igor, and then I'll shut it down. So, Jafar, rather, let me take you to home territory. Kano government reacts to court ruling awarding 10 million naira compensation to Lamido Sanusi. So that space revisited. And it is not essentially the dethroning of Sanusi, but the banishment of him to Nasarawa. So they are vesting it in customs and traditions, but some customs and traditions are archaic and not fit for the modern times. They fight back, but is this just ego at play? Gandola versus Sanusi. What is your reading of that space, Jafar?
I just want to believe maybe the Governor GANDUJE is just shedding crocodile tears. I mean, there is nothing he can do about it. If he does not agree with a court ruling, he has to go to a higher court to set the first ruling aside. But until then, he has no choice.
No, they have already indicated that they are going to the appeal court. But do you think
okay,
do you think it is really ego that is at play? Do you think it's just ego that is playing out here?
There is an element of ego too, and there is I think he still believes that in the 21st century you could actually banish someone from living in any part of
I'm not
the
sure
country.
that it does. He's a PhD holder, you know. He's not an illiterate.
He just did it one man. It means he believed in it. He did it. He banished the former the 14th emir of Kano to Nasarawa state. And he's not the first person in Nigeria that has banished a royal father out of the state, right? You remember the Suki was banished from Sokoto, and he lived in Kaduna, where he died in Kaduna. So, and I was very happy that Sanusi Lamido took this matter to court so that we should get some legal precedent going forward. So now we have a law. There is legal precedent that you cannot do such thing in the future. GANDUJE just have to, he doesn't have any choice. He just have to come in terms with reality. That's all I can say. There is nothing he can do about it.
All right. Thank you, Jafar. So, Jafar, let me go on to Nsibidi and put this to him. I don't work with murderers. Dele Farotimi replies, Sanwo Olu. So, Sanwo Olu now, I think, is a schoolboy error calling out specific names of people left of center to come and match with him for closure of the Endsars space. So I'm not quite sure. This is why I query this guy's capacity, because that seems just like he was cruising for a beating, and the beating now he's not getting. These people are just going to town with this request now, mocking him as they reject it. So what are you making of the governor of Lagos State's invitation and the response that is getting in CBD?
Well, man, nobody is mocking, what's the name? The governor. But you see,
should I send you a link now, right now, to go and listen to Seun Kuti? He was
no,
laughing and dancing as he mocked him.
okay, yeah, maybe I'm talking about the intent or the point is not to mock him. The point is to reject exactly what Farutimi has said, you know, and how can he be mentioning people's name? You know, he wants to play this populist politics that, you know, I'm a youth, so let my fellow youths come, let us march. And, you know, I think by now, if our people have not moved past this sentimental mind control politics that these people are doing, then it means that we have a long way to go. So I'm actually happy on the way what's his name, Macaroni Falls and all that, and all these people are are reacting. But because if you look at this thing and you just call it they are mocking him, you know, look at what happened. The problem is that many of us are here from I don't know which country most of us are, and we are looking at these things and we are saying we are doing analysis. These people were on the ground, they even have more. Despite the fact that let us not think that every information is online. There are most of the information are online. I mean, many information are online, but not all. There are many things that we still don't know that is not online. We sometimes we get carried away with this online media, thinking that we know everything. These people are on ground. They know what they saw. They know the communications they had, and they are feeling the thing firsthand. Even if as long as you are not among the people that were in that, that were marching in that Endsars protest, that saw what happened and saw how things went down, we cannot just wake up and say Macaroni Falls and the Shemu Kuti, all these people are mocking anybody because they know what they saw. So I don't believe that they are mocking, and all this politics of just trying to appeal to the youth without any substance or any real justice. Nobody should welcome that. So they should, if there's going to be a change, there should be real change, not just you know for the ops
Cosmetic.
or for the cosmetics or for just for
And
the
CBD, let me ask you a question, please, if you don't mind.
All right, but ask, but be
Yeah, I will
brief
be
because
brief.
I'm going to
I
shut
will,
down in 5
yeah,
minutes.
I will be
or
really
more.
brief. I will be.
Yeah.
Do you really think what they are doing by rejecting his olive branch, it is
to
in the
work?
best interest for the match, the peace
What is
match?
the,
It
what
is
is
in
the
the best
what,
interest of Lagos State.
what does the peace march do? That's what I want to ask you. To march for peace.
It's,
That is
It's for
that is
it's
closure.
a
For
healing.
closure.
It's a closure healing process. You have to start from
healing.
somewhere.
But the people are not talking about healing process. People are looking for justice. Do you know that
What?
there's justice then peace?
So every rational mind could know that based on the governor's action from the day he constituted that panel, that's the only state that is actually even paying people
The,
damages. No state has done that. He has shown he has shown effective leadership on that and a willingness for repair. So do you think does he control the Nigerian police or does he
no,
control the Nigerian army?
you're asking
There
me
are other things that are excluded. He can't. There are things that are above him. He just can't do it.
obviously, in
You,
fact, that's why, just a minute, you see, what you said, that's true. And that's why sometimes I hardly even come out and say the governor of Lagos State. Sometimes I don't even mention, because I'm sure on a good day, the governor of Lagos State will not invite military or whatever to come and shoot people. So definitely I'm not looking at his side. But now the people are not interested in that facade. People are not interested in all that. So it's not like they have anything against him like that, because
I
they know
think they
that
do. I think.
because
Sorry, Zibiti. I think the governor is naive because he could have seen this coming. He could
Yeah,
have
but
seen
that
this
is what
coming.
I said.
When
Hold
Mr.
on, hold
Macaroni
on, hold on.
refused.
Sorry, Jafar. Just that space when you said the governor is naive and he should have seen that coming. That is the conversation I've been having with Ajan Lekoko for going on 2 days now. And I'm saying that then calls his judgment into question.
exactly.
I
In
agree
fact,
with you.
if you ask me, whatever that they would have done is to probably, do tangible things like even that toll gate, whatever it is. Just create some kind of lasting legacy. You're saying you're marching. This marching would work if nobody has been killed. What kind of marching would bring back a dead person? So if you're telling me that probably they want to remove the toll gate permanently, they are looking for ways to assist so many young people to probably even scholarships and all that. It might not get the praise immediately, but people will know that this is something that impacts the life of people. Now you're saying they should march to where? They march and come back, and the
Oh,
problem is still there.
all right.
So
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. We've come up to the 2-hour mark, so which is where I usually cap it off. So thank you. It's been interesting. Ajande Koko kicked it off. Charlie Boy picked it up. Jafar progressed it, and CBD has now landed it. So thank you, one and all. So we leave it here. Carry the conversation on in the comment section, but here I say peace.